Book of Heaven, Volume 13. 26th to the 28th of November 1921. Page 54 to 59. November 26, 1921. The centralization of the purpose of creation, of redemption and of glorification. The divine will as life of the creature surpasses the miracle of the Eucharist. I was thinking about what is written on the 19th of the current month, and I said to myself, how is it possible that, after my mama, I be the second support? My sweet Jesus, drawing me to himself, into an immense light, told me, my daughter, why do you doubt? What is the reason? And I, my great misery. And he, this you must banish. Besides, if I did not choose you, I certainly should have chosen another one from the human family. In fact, the human family rebelled against my will, and by rebelling, it took away from me the purpose of the glory and of the honor which creation was supposed to give me. Therefore, another from the same human family, by having a continuous connection with my will, by living more with my will than with her own, embracing everything within my volition, was to rise over everything so as to lay at the feet of my throne the glory, the honor and the love which all the others have not given me. The only purpose of creation was that all would fulfill my will, not that man would do great things. Rather, I look at those as trifles and I despise them if they are not fruits of my will. This is why many works turn to ruin at their peak, because the life of my will was not in them. So, having broken his will from mine, man destroyed my best, the purpose for which I had created him. He ruined himself completely, and denied me all the rights which he owed me as creator. But my works carry the mark of eternity, and my infinite wisdom and my eternal love could not leave the work of creation without its effects and the rights which were due to me. This is the reason for redemption. With so many pains, I wanted to expiate all the sins of man, by never doing my own will, but always that of the divinity, even in the most tiny things, such as breathing, looking, speaking, etc. My humanity did not move, nor did it have life, if it was not animated by the will of my Father. I would have contented myself with dying 1,000 times rather than take a breath without his will. Through this, I joined again the human will with the divine, and through my person alone, being true man and true God, I returned to my Father all the glory and the rights which befitted him. But my will and my love do not want to be alone in my works, they want to make other images similar to me. After my humanity restored the purpose of creation, I saw that, because of man's ingratitude, the purpose of redemption was in danger, and almost ruined for many. Therefore, so that redemption might bring me complete glory and give me all the rights which were due to me, I took another creature from the human family, my mama, faithful copy of my life, in whom my will was preserved as whole, and I centralized in her all the fruits of redemption. So I rescued the purpose of creation and redemption, and if no one had taken advantage of redemption, my mama would give me all that the creatures would not have given me. Now I come to you. I was true man and true God, my dear mama was innocent and holy, and our love pushed us even further. We wanted another creature who, being conceived like all the other children of men, would take the third place at my side. I was not satisfied with the fact that only myself and my mama remained unbroken with the divine will. We wanted other children who, in the name of all, living in full accord with our will, would give us divine glory and love for all. Therefore I called you from eternity, when nothing yet existed down here, and just as I longed for my dear mama, delighting in her, caressing her, and pouring upon her, in torrents, all the goods of the divinity, so I longed for you, I caressed you, and the torrents which were poured on my mama inundated you, for as much as you were capable of containing. They prepared you, anticipated you, and embellishing you, they gave you the grace that my will be whole in you, and that my will, not yours, would animate even your tiniest acts. My life, my will and all my love flew in each act of yours. What contentment! How many joys did I not feel! This is why I call you second support after my mama. Not upon you did I lean, because you were nothing, and lean I could not, but upon my will, which you were to contain. My will is life, and whoever possesses it possesses life, and is able to sustain the author of life itself. Therefore, just as I centralized in me the purpose of creation, I centralized in my mama the fruits of redemption, and I centralized in you the purpose of the glory, as if my will were whole in everyone. And from you will come the squad of the other creatures. The generations will not pass away if I do not obtain this intent. Stupefied, I said, My love, is it possible that your will is whole in me, and that in all my life there has been no break between your will and mine? It seems to me that you are making fun of me. And Jesus, with a tone even sweeter, No, I am not making fun of you. It is really true that there has been no break, an injury at the most, sometimes. And my love, like strong cement, has repaired these injuries, and has rendered the integrity stronger. I have guarded each one of your acts, making my will flow immediately, as if to its place of honor. I knew that many graces were needed, since I was to operate the greatest miracle that exists in the world, that is, the continuous living in my will. The soul must absorb the whole of a God into her act, to give him back again as whole as she absorbed him, and then absorb him once again. Therefore, this surpasses even the miracle of the Eucharist. Its accidents have no reason, nor a will, nor desires which may oppose my sacramental life. So, the host contributes nothing. All the work is mine. If I want it, I do it. On the other hand, in order to make the miracle of the living in my will happen, I have to bend a reason, a human will, a desire, a love which is purely free. How much does this not take? Therefore, there are many souls who receive communion and take part in the miracle of the Eucharist, because they sacrifice less, but having to sacrifice more in order to let the miracle that my will may have life in them occur. Very few are those who dispose themselves. November 28, 1921. The Sea of the Divine Will and the Little Boat of Light. Continuing in my usual state, I found myself inside an immense sea of light. One could see neither where it began nor where it ended. And a little boat, also made of light. Of light was the bottom of the boat. Of light the sails, in sum, it was all light. However, the different things which are needed to form a boat could be distinguished by the diversity of light, one brighter than the other. This little boat was crossing this sea of light at incredible speed. I remained enchanted, more so, in seeing that now it would dissolve in the sea and could no longer be seen. Now it would come out, and while it was far away, plunging itself into the sea, it would find itself at the same point from which it had come out. My always lovable Jesus amused himself very much in watching this little boat, and calling me, told me, My daughter, the sea that you see is my will. My will is light, and no one can cross this sea but one who wants to live of light. The boat that you see crossing this sea with so much grace is the soul who lives in my will. By its continuous living in my will, it breathed the air of my will, and my will has emptied it of the wood, of the sails, of the anchor and of the tree, and has turned it completely into light. So, as the soul keeps doing her acts in my will, she empties herself of herself, and fills herself with light. The captain of this boat is I. I am the one who guides her at the pace of her speed. I the one who plunges her deep inside to give her rest, and to give her the time to be confided the secrets of my will. No one could be capable of guiding her because, not knowing the sea, they cannot know the way to guide her, nor would I trust anyone. At the most, I choose the guide as spectator and listener of the great prodigies that my will performs. Who can ever be capable of guiding the runs in my will? On the other hand, in one single instant I make her do runs which another guide would make her do in 1 century. Then he added, Do you see how beautiful she is? She runs, she dives, and she finds herself at the beginning. It is the sphere of eternity that enwraps her, keeping her always still at one single point. It is my immutable will that makes her run within its sphere, which has no beginning and no end. And while she runs, she finds herself at that steady point of my immutability. Look at the sun, it is fixed, it does not move, but in 1 instant its light covers the whole earth. The same for this boat. She is immutable with me, nor does she move from that point from which my will delivered her. She came out of an eternal point, and there she remains. And if she appears to be running, those are her acts that run, which, like solar light, go everywhere and to every place. This is the wonder, to run and to be still. So I am, and so must I render one who lives in my will. But do you want to know who this boat is? The soul who lives in my will. As she emits her acts in my volition, she does her runs, giving my will the opportunity to let many other vital acts of grace, of love, of glory come out from its center. And I, her captain, guide that act. I run together with it, that it may be an act which lacks nothing, and which is worthy of my will. I amuse myself very much in these things. I see the little daughter of my will that, together with me, runs and remains still. She has no feet, but is the step of all. She has no hands, but is the motion of all works. She has no eyes, and in the light of my will she is more than eyes and light for all. Oh, how well she imitates her Creator! How she becomes similar to me! Only in my will can there be true imitation. I hear my most sweet and creative voice resound to my ear. Let us make man in our image and likeness. And with unending joy, I say, here are my images. The rights of creation are being returned to me. The purpose for which I created man is completed. How happy I am! And I call all heaven to make feast.